Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. In our reading today, we find two different responses from the northern tribes in regards to the faithfulness of Judah towards God. And the first response we find is in 2 Chronicles chapter 13 with Abijah. Now, Abijah was in no way perfect. We find in 1 Kings chapter 15, we cross-reference that, we find that Abijah walked in a lot of the sins that his father walked in, and he didn't wholly obey the Lord, but he did at least partially obey the Lord, and at least obeyed the Lord more than the northern tribes did. And he speaks about that in chapter 13 when the northern tribes raise up battle against him, and he warns them and says, you guys have been forsaking the Lord. You've been anyone who brings sacrifices, you make them into a priest. You've rejected the priests of Yahweh. And nonetheless, they have a larger army, so they fight against Abijah, only to find that they are destroyed. And so Jeroboam loses against Abijah in that interaction. But they responded to Abijah's words of faithfulness towards Yahweh with war. But later on, we find with Asa, we find that a lot of the people from the northern tribes, when they hear about the faithfulness of Asa and how the Lord was with him, that a lot of the people from those northern tribes actually leave and go to Judah to be with Asa because of that. In verse 9 of chapter 15, it says, "And he gathered all Judah and Benjamin and those from Ephraim, Manasseh, and Simeon, who sojourned with them, for many defected to him from Israel when they saw that Yahweh his God was with him." And so they wanted to actually join what was going on with the reforms that Asa had brought. And so in one case, you have them wanting to rise up against Judah. In the other case, you have them wanting to actually join Judah and to defect to the king of Judah, the son of David, in regards to his faithfulness towards Yahweh, or because of the fact that Yahweh was with him. And as we are living out the Christian life, we're going to find that those are the two main reactions that we'll find oftentimes. It's true, sometimes we'll encounter apathy. Some people just won't care one way or the other. But we also find two extremes as well. Sometimes we'll find that as we're living before the Lord and as we're walking in faithfulness towards God, and people see that God is with us, and they see a difference in the way that we live, and maybe even are able to perceive the blessing under which we live, some are going to want to fight against that. They're going to be envious of it. They're going to be intimidated by it. They're not going to like the fact that we're walking according to the Lord, because perhaps it brings conviction in their own heart. Whatever the reason might be, they will rise up against people who are trying to serve the Lord. We see it time and time again in scriptures. We saw it even with Jesus Christ, who was the most faithful person to ever live, most obedient person to God to ever live. And they were envious of him and wanted to rise up against him. And so some of the people we come across are going to want to battle us. But then also others will see how we're serving the Lord and that the blessing of the Lord is upon us, and they are going to want to defect to us. They're going to want to defect to the Son of David, that is Jesus Christ. And they're going to be attracted to that, and they're going to come to that. And that's just a part of living the Christian life. Some people are going to appreciate it. Some people are going to fight against it. The Apostle Paul talks about it like a fragrance, like an aroma. Whenever we're emitting this aroma of Christ, some people are going to be attracted to that, and some people are going to be offended by that. For some, it's an aroma from life, an aroma that leads them to life. To another, it's an aroma that leads them to death. And that's definitely true. A person who wears cologne will find that, some people are attracted to the cologne. They think that it's a wonderful smell. Other people are repelled. They're like, that stuff gives me a headache or whatever. And they're actually repelled by the cologne or perfume or whatever it might be. And that's how it is when we're living in faithfulness towards the Lord. Some people are going to be attracted to it. Some people are going to be repelled by it. Some people are going to battle it. But our main concern should be just to remain faithful to the Lord. And just to understand and have the proper perspective to know that when people rise up against us, that's just human nature. That's something that is going to happen. It's something that we see throughout history. But also, we want to be encouraged to remain faithful for those few people that are actually going to be attracted to it and will actually come to the Lord like a moth to a light. They'll be attracted to it, and they'll want to draw close to the Lord because they'll see how our lives are different, and they'll be attracted to that and want to know the one that we follow. And so let's just remain faithful to the Lord, whether people rise up against us or people rise up with us. Just stay faithful to the Lord. And I think that's a message that we can walk away with in our reading today. So there's some things we can reflect on and think about. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.